Hello, adventurers. My name's Tyler.
And I'm Richard.
On today's episode, we're diving into Chapter 4 of Daggerheart's Open Fear, Campaign Frames. And we're going to talk about the Dread Domain. Welcome to Truce Track.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the show.
Sorry, guys, we forgot to talk about the Dread Domain in Chapter 1.
Or did we forget? And we decided that we were going to move it to Chapter 4.
It does work out.
No, it works out really well because Chapter 4 is campaign frames.
Which is incredibly long.
Thick. Thick.
3 C's.
Yeah. So there's a lot. So there's 4 campaign frames, and we do want to go over them in depth. So that's not what we're going to do tonight.
Because this is like legitimate, y'all. Like we want to do justice to these campaign frames and don't want to like kind of go over all of them a lot and then kind of skim over like other stuff that, oh, this wasn't as important. It's all important. And these are thick,
because these are big,
wonderful
big ones.
campaign frames.
Yeah.
Richard, take the wheel. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, what we're going to do is we're going to basically talk to you about each one of them, give you the complexity ratings, the pitches, the touchstones, the themes, the tone and feels, and then kind of talk about them a little bit. But yeah, we'll talk about them and our feelings on them each, because we have feelings on these. And then we do want to go over the Dread Domain, since that's a very important part of this book in general, is going over those, because there's some really cool stuff in here.
Yes.
And I have all the cards here in front of me.
And of course, we talked about the Dread Domain and stuff during the Void, blah, 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 blah. But this is the final version.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
Yeah.
It's important that we go over these things.
Absolutely.
And we forgot about it.
All right. So do you want me to just go ahead and kick it off? Do you want to kick it off? I'll go ahead.
Pick your favorite.
Okay.
Do you want to?
No, I'm not going to do my favorite. I'm just going to start at the beginning.
No, that's what I'm saying. But is the beginning your favorite?
Yeah, the beginning
or
is my
the
favorite.
Second your favorite?
No, the beginning is my favorite.
Evens or odds. Flip a coin.
So yeah, they have a complexity rating of 1 through 4, and we're going to start in the beginning with Castle High. All right, so Castle High. In a modern fantasy world, teenagers attend a boarding school in the clouds, sneaking out of classes to fly brooms, explore floating islands, and save their friends. Designed by Rowan Hall, Mikey Ham, Cass Rhea, and Spencer Stark. Complexity rating of 1, like I said before. The pitch. In a modern world of knights and cars, wands, and flip phones, there's no better place to study magic than a floating school known as Castle High. Drifting among the mysterious ruins of an ancient world and modern settlements that populate the clouds, this school and its surroundings hold secrets, danger, and something more sinister. A string of disappearances has recently plagued the school, and no one knows who or what is behind it, or who will disappear next. In Castle High campaign, you'll play adventurous high schoolers who take magic classes, explore sky islands, and search for their missing classmates. Tone and feel for this one is adventurous, dreamy, full-hearted, melodramatic, modern, playful, and thrilling. Themes here are coming of age, curiosity and rebellion, friendship and loyalty, magical versus modern. The touchstones are Kids on Brooms, Kiki's Delivery Service, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Little Witch Academia, Onward, The Owl House, She-Ra and the Princess of Power, and Slug Blaster. So, this one is my favorite out of all of them. It immediately makes me think of like Dimension 20 and like that whole Fantasy High thing.
It's very Fantasy High, of course. It's also very like Kids on Brooms.
Yeah, Kids on Brooms.
Yeah,
it's all like saying Fantasy High is, like that's just my favorite iteration of things. But
magic in modern day.
Magic and modernish. Modernish day.
World as we know it.
Yeah, but
a bit of fantasy.
I love that mix of like a fantasy world intermingled with some stuff, like cars and flip phones and stuff like that. I like the way the Fantasy High handled it with the crystals, and they were sending texts to each other, and it was all fun. And yeah, this whole idea of like this whole magical school, I originally wanted to run you guys through Strixhaven. And
I remember that. I was
book,
hyped for it.
And I was super hyped when Strixhaven was released because I was like, oh, magical school.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And then I read Strixhaven, the book, and I was like, man, this is super complicated and not as lighthearted as I wanted it to be, kind of a situation. And I was going to make it work, you know. And
I kept asking you about it, and you kept kind of like putting it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought he was really excited about this.
I was. And then I read the book, and I was like, ooh. I mean, it's still okay, but Strixhaven as a book didn't really hit for me the way that I thought it was going to. I mean, I bought the collector's edition and everything.
Oh, yeah, you were in.
Because I thought it was going to be like it. And it's not a bad book. Don't get me wrong. It just didn't hit like the way that I wanted it to. And I think the reason why is because it wasn't as, as lighthearted and whimsical as what Castle High is representing itself at.
It set the tone with the name.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the tone gets set right off the jump. It does sound like a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool mechanics for flying and how you handle that.
The fact that they added flying mechanics. Icing on the cake.
And then there's obviously like people that can fly, right?
Totally.
So there's ways to like kind of work that in, as far as like innate flyers versus having everybody fly. And one of their, like main things about campaign mechanics, which is a less lethal campaign, I thought was interesting, which is basically rules and guidelines on how to keep death out of your game, essentially. So to make this a non-lethal kind of more fun time to be had.
Yeah. This is a much more Richard runs sort of game than a Tyler runs. And I'm not a mean GM. I just I'm viscerally descriptive sometimes.
Dark. Which like shocked me when like he started running games, and like in the beginning it was like super lighthearted, jokey. Like
it's both.
We were playing Ack Inc. stuff, which is like, puns everywhere. Everybody's having a good time. There's mimics, then there's, like all these cool funny jokes. And then in like Tyler's like, all right, now that I have you all at my table, let's dim the lights and kill some people. And then he revealed his true nature, which is like the darkest GM that I know.
Look, viscerally descriptive is the best way I like to put it.
Viscerally, yeah.
And it's because those are just they always say paint a word picture, right? Sometimes the picture you got to paint.
Dark picture.
You've only got so many colors.
Blood.
And lots of it is reds and shades of gray.
Yeah. And I'm over with the la 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 la.
Death, don't need that.
Yeah. So yeah, Castle High, my most excited campaign.
It's the one I think I'm most excited to play in.
Yeah.
I can fully say that. It is not the one I'm most excited to run. If I had the choice to run any of these four, it would be third from the bottom.
Okay, fair.
But which one do I want to play in? It's number one. Easily. I want to play in this world so bad. Just the vibes of everything. Yeah. It's got me hyped.
The vibes are right there for me. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Our second one here, and one of the two I want to run the most, being at second place, is Reign of the Were-Dragon. In a land ruled by a violent were-dragon tyrant, heroes ordained by the stars to defeat her must rise to the challenge to defend their people. Designed by Jeremy Crawford, Rowan Hall, Christopher Perkins, and Spencer Stark. 4 of my favorite people.
Ooh, that's pedigree right there.
Absolutely. Complexity rating of 2. You notice a theme here in these 4. The pitch. Read this section to your players. Of course, that's what I'm doing right now. Once upon a time, in the peaceful land of Welvia, a powerful sorceress named Forlorn Lacona deceived the country's greatest dragon warden to absorb his power and rule the kingdom herself. Transformed into a were-dragon by the powerful ritual that fused the warden's power with her cold heart, Forlorn now takes to the skies, feasting on all who challenge her and cursing innocent villagers to become ravenous were-drakes. The people called on the brave defenders of the realm, the Knights of Welvia, to protect them, but the knights instead bent the knee to the draconic tyrant, allowing her to command their forces and leaving the land without protectors. In a were-reign... God, I can't read and talk at the same time!
Yeah, you can.
In a Reign of the Were-Dragon campaign, you play destined heroes of Welvia, rising up against Forlorn Lacona and her knights to save the once idyllic land from the jaws of tyranny. Tone and feel, epic, fairy tale-like, grim, and hopeful. Hey, I like that. Epic, hopeful, and grim.
Yeah, and grim all rolled into one.
Right up my alley. Themes: astrology, fate written in the stars, swords and sorcery, tyranny, rise and fall. Touchstones: the Black Cauldron, Conan the Barbarian, For the Queen. Hey, that's their own game. They can't their own game.
Totally be a touchstone.
I know, of course. The Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, the Sword and the Sorcerer, and the Wolfman. What a collection.
This is a super collection. And like they had me with the very first two, Black Cauldron and Conan.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, let's go.
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. Is it Ursula? I think it's Ursula.
I mean, there's some Ursula vibes for sure.
It's Ursula. She's giving the vibe.
But overall, I think one thing I want to point out is these, if you know Daggerheart frameworks, they do these things where they have these overviews that are you do the pitch, you read the pitch to your players, you see if they're into the game, see if they want to run it. Then there's overview information, which is things that those PCs would know going into the game. And that you're supposed to hand this out and read it before character creation. Castle High had one, and it was like a full page. It's like 2 pages for this one because the world is deep and full of wonders,
crazy deep.
And I love it. And this is just a tier 2, y'all.
Yeah,
complexity 2.
This is a complexity 2, which is crazy when you start to getting to the meat of things. Like my favorite part, which is the villain builder roll table.
Yep.
Which is insanity. It's like 49 roll attempts that give you prompts, basically. Like 49 prompts that you can use to build this villain, which is super fun.
Yeah, there's prompts. If you have, I believe it's going to be printable upon book actual release date, if I'm not wrong. And you'll have it there. But if you have like deluxe edition, there's little tearaways where you can the page and you just rip up little things and you like put them in a hat. And you pull out prompts, and that's how you like mix up, come up with some bad guy villain builder stuff. Also, it's fun. I like the idea that even the GM doesn't know the Were-Dragon.
Yeah, it doesn't really know what the
doesn't know their own villain.
Doesn't know how the villain is, what the villain is going to be.
Yes,
and I think that I love that as the idea of playing a GM, like having that kind of thing like randomized. I guess I'd say
that was starting Strahd and trying to do as much prep as I could, but then having a Taraka deck tell
you where everything goes.
Yes, which totally changes things.
No, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's rad. It's some of that. This is one of those campaigns that I want to run. I want to run for a very long time. It includes different kind of night sky readings because there's
the astrological stuff.
There's astrological stuff in this game. There are specific items and adversaries for this. This is cool. I like this a lot.
Yeah. No, this one it's like your classic. Like super fantasy.
Yes, your dark heroic fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. And it like the artwork for this one really just kind of like sets the tone, I think, when you look at it of like what you can expect from something like this.
Yep.
And it's like this big, large, epic, like where the villain is like the villain is like front and center. Yeah. Like what your goal is essentially, right?
Which a present villain is the best
present villain is the best villain. Yeah, and like Strahd is one of those like just iconic villains for a reason because he's a present villain.
Yeah, and
you see him so much throughout the story that like he's just always there and always on your mind. You don't forget Strahd. You can't forget Strahd. Yeah. And this is kind of what like the feeling that I get from this, but instead of horror, like super high fantasy.
Yep. Polar opposite of D&D also for people that are from that camp. Oriel from Rime of the Frost Maiden.
Yeah.
Sometimes you barely remember she exists.
Yeah.
And she's right on the front of the book.
Yeah, she's right there on the front of the book. Yeah.
So moving on to a campaign frame I'm not sure you would ever run.
So, interestingly enough, I selfishly wanted to start off Castle High, one, because it was my favorite.
Yeah.
But also, in our normal back and forth ping pong means that this next one that I got to talk about was the Dark Heart of Andaluria.
Okay.
Because out of the 4 campaign frames in this book, those are my number 1 and number 2.
Perfect.
Yeah, after having read all of them.
Darrington split this up for us. They were thinking about us.
They were thinking about us. So, Dark Heart of Andaluria. As the night grows long and the land of rich wine and ancient superstitions, a band of monster hunters battle the creatures that stalk the shadows. Designed by Carlos Cisco.
Heck yeah, Carlos.
Hey. Rue Dickey.
Heck, Rue.
Rowan Hall. And Rob Herbert.
All 4 friends of ours.
All amazing people.
Yeah.
Just like great people overall. So like,
heck yeah.
I love this design by. Complexity rating 3. The pitch. Andaluria is a land of sweeping vineyards where beauty and dread intertwine. By day, the streets and valleys are alive with festivals, music, and the scent of wine. But when the sun sets, monsters come out to feast. For generations, the old superstitions and folk rites kept the beasts at bay, but of late nights have grown unnaturally long, and the citizens of Andaluria live in fear of increasingly terrifying monsters. In Dark Heart of Andaluria campaign, you'll play as a monster hunter who must investigate horrific crimes, navigate political strife, and slay supernatural creatures to protect the people from eternal darkness. Tone and feel: gothic, grim, heroic, intriguing, monstrous, mysterious, romantic, spooky, and thrilling. Themes: battle not with monsters lest ye become one, dangerous secrets, driving back the darkness, faith and tradition, the nature of evil, and power and politics. Touchstones include Bloodborne, Castlevania, Curse of Strahd, Hellboy, John Constantine, Hellblazer, Monster of the Week, Night's Black Agents, Slayers, Supernatural, Vaesen, Vampire Hunter D, Van Helsing, The Witcher, and World of Darkness.
I am so glad they don't shy away from just letting the world know what inspired them.
Exactly. There are so many good touchstones in there. And I will say this, Dark Heart of Andaluria, when I first read this and like, I was like, okay, Castlevania, that kind of put me in a mindset.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is where we're at. Monster of the Week, Supernatural. Like these are all things I love. So this is all lining up for me. And I was like, oh, this is grimdark. And you know, like I don't do grimdark. But then we went to Daggerheart next. And we watched them play a game, and it wasn't super grimdark. Right? It was dark because it was monsters, right? But it wasn't. They
leaned heavier on the monster hunter.
Yeah, they leaned heavily on the monster hunter, the festival aspect of things. And it just kind of goes to show that like the way you run a game doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the way that like it's the artwork is portraying it, because the artwork on here looks like Bloodborne. This is a video game.
You look at this and I'm like, this feels like Bloodborne. I look down and it says Bloodborne. I'm like, yeah, there we go.
Bloodborne is a touchstone. But then you look over to the right and you see either a sunset, could be a sunrise, over like a sweeping countryside with vineyards and castles and towns and cities and stuff like that. And when they played the game, it was during a happy festival with all these, great people that, like knew each other as a party and were just hunting monsters. Yeah. Fun times. Fun times. And yeah, I just like, I don't know, the more I read this one, the more I really enjoy the idea of running it like a supernatural style game, like a Monster of the Week game where you're, hunting these supernatural beings, because that's what you are. You're a hunter. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be super grimdark. And I feel like I could run something that would be super fun, just hunting monsters. And yeah, this quickly became my number 2 after reading through all the campaign frames. And like it changed. Like I literally went into it with expectations of what my number 1 and 2 were going to be. Castle High didn't move. It was my number 1 and it still was my number 1. But like I said, Andaluria like jumped right up the list and quickly became my number 2.
Nice. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to play in this.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to take the spot of your Monster of the Week games if we needed something to play for the week?
Ooh, that's interesting. And also I already have the answer to that, and that is no.
Because
we already played a different game at Gen Con.
That's not out yet,
Richard. Not out yet. That is a strong candidate for replacing Monster of the Week games.
Episode for that coming in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That also reminds me, I need to send them an email about that too, because I want to hit them up.
Nice.
Moving on to our 4th and final campaign frame for this book. but not the smallest campaign frame of this
No,
book.
definitely not the smallest
We
campaign.
have Complexity Level 4, Journey to Horizon. After a 1,000-year cataclysm, a fellowship of heroes embarks from their magically protected sanctuary to journey across a broken continent and resurrect a fallen goddess who can heal their world. Designed by James Herrick, Rob Herbert, James Introcaso, and Spencer Stark. The pitch here is long ago, the vast continent of Valoran was home to wondrous landscapes shaped by the goddess Aurelia. I did say it right. I think. Wielder of the elemental presence called Tirana. But when her disciples' betrayal threatened to extinguish magic forever, Aurelia sacrificed her own life to call down the stars and purge the land of corruption. To protect her people from annihilation, Aurelia raised magical barriers that would last 1,000 years. In a Journey to Horizon campaign, you play heroes chosen by fate to leave their recently unsealed sanctuary and travel across a turbulent and hostile world on a quest to resurrect the goddess. Tone and feel: adventurous, epic, hopeful, magical, mysterious, sprawling, and wondrous. Themes: faith and friendship, growing shadows, hope rekindled, new beginnings, pathways long and winding, points of light, in a ruined world. Touchstones: The Dragon Prince, Fallout, Final Fantasy VII, Kipo, and The Age of the Wonder Beast. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, The Lord of the Rings Trilogy, Lunar, and Willow. Also, this is a hex crawl.
This is a beefy one.
Uh-huh. Y'all, there are... all right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll call it 10. 10 pages of just stuff you need to know about the world before you get to the rules for the hex crawl.
Yes.
And then the hex crawl, 1, 2, 3. Nah, I'm not going to count that one. All right, so you got like 2 pages here just devoted to how a hex crawl works. Mm-hmm. And then you have encounter tables and more tables. And then dice tables for creating a sanctuary. And then settlements. And then more stuff on your hex crawls. And it just keeps going and going and going. And if you have the map, it's big.
Big, yeah.
Big map. This is my number 1. And I've never run a hex crawl before.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The world sounds so cool that I want to just metaphorically live in it for a while. Breathe it in and see what it has to offer, because it seems so vast and full of magic. Like it's a world that needs to be explored. And as a GM who preps a lot before my first game and then never preps again, the idea of having this many tables that me and the players are discovering what's in the next leg of the journey together on the fly, it sounds like such a fun challenge, and it just tickles that part of my brain that is going to look for this sort of challenge anyway.
Yeah, no, true.
And now I just don't have to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So I want to run this real bad, Richard.
Yeah, I have never run a hex crawl. I've never played in a hex crawl. The closest I've ever come to anything hex crawl related was I actually ran a 40K tournament that I designed around a hex crawl, basically making my players choose hexes to take over for wins and losses and to fight random people in the tournament and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because hex crawling was never really high on my desire list, ever. And then Dungeon Club released a hex crawl rule set that made me rethink my opinion on hex crawls.
Yeah.
And I was all like, oh, wow. Like, maybe hex crawls are something that I shouldn't be ignoring. Like, something that, could be a whole lot of fun.
Let's fill out the world together.
Yeah. And then Journey of the Horizon came out and expanded even more my mindset of hex crawls, and has, like, completely flip-flopped my mindset of hex crawls between the two of them. And now it is something that is super interesting and incredibly lore heavy. Like, there's so much going on in this campaign frame as far as like the world that is so interesting. But then, like you said, the idea of discovering these hexes and how the world kind of builds out is incredibly intriguing,
right?
Especially when you look at the size and scope of what we're talking about here.
Yep. And
Very
none of
cool.
this is even touching on the Doom track.
Yeah, no. Like, this is
let's give you guys
very
an idea.
complex, and I will say that I'm glad it's you running this and not me.
I'm excited. I'm glad you're going to play it, if you're willing.
Oh, absolutely.
The Doom track, because this is important, I don't want to gloss over this. The Doom track represents growing disasters that befall New Valoran if the party doesn't resurrect Aurelia. At the end of each session, mark a box from the party's tier or below. You can't mark you can't mark a nested box until you mark the box it's nested under. Okay. Example, when your party's at tier 1. You could mark bandits and marauders, hairy travelers. Okay, that's a thing that happens. Then you could mark, underneath that, a sanctuary seals itself off once again. Oh, okay. What does that do? Maybe you also mark travelers' trade stories of seeker sightings. Oh, it's a little tidbit in the world. And then the party finds remnants of occult ritual. Okay, these are all tier 1, y'all. It's just little bits adding to the world. At the end of a session, these things all happen because you're choosing ones and you're kind of filling out the world. You're kind of taking back a little bit of that control, right? And for every session that happens, things progress. By the time you get to tier 4, it's things like Valoran is riven by an impassable mire of shadow blight.
Yeah.
The sky turns black forever, plunging Valoran into eternal midnight. And then some, y'all. There are stakes.
Yes, there are stakes.
For how long your game takes to complete.
That's like, I think the biggest thing about the Doom track too is when you read about the Doom track, they give you a tip at the bottom that kind of like gives you a real idea of the scope of this kind of a game. And their tip is, hey, the Doom track is designed for games that are typically 30 to 40 sessions.
Yeah.
So
it would have to be.
Yeah, exactly. Because you just such big things are happening.
Something else, I want to touch on this. There are boons and banes like associated. It's called banes. There's banes associated. Depends whose perspective you're coming from.
Yeah,
really.
I was gonna say.
Depending on how many boxes you've marked. The first one, the example on the tier 1 is after you mark 5 boxes in this tier, when you gain fear at the end of the long rest, you roll twice and take the higher result. This is mean. It's designed to be mean.
It's designed to like really give you an idea of how hostile the world is becoming.
Yes, and it pushes the party along. Give them a sense of urgency that you don't always feel in, let's say, any video game for the most part. Like, you're like, you have to deliver this message to the king or all of the world is doomed. And you're like, well, I've got 30 other side quests I can do, so I'm going to do those first. And nothing, that doesn't really matter. And you're like, all right, bet. The session goes on. Your players do a thing. You mark a box. And you mark another box. You mark another box. And you mark another box. The next thing you know, the world is black. Full of horrors.
My takeaway from this is the anxiety levels that I had during Curse of Strahd in regards to all the things that were happening because of inaction.
Now the world, it keeps on moving.
Yes, that I had so much anxiety about in that game. This is going to take that and ramp it up. Like exponentially.
Yeah. That's what I love.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want to run this real bad.
Yeah, this is a game that
it's very high
I
on that
want
list
to
for me.
play in, but I could never.
You could never run it?
I could never run.
Yeah.
I would love to try and attempt something like that, but no, that's out of my wheelhouse. This is something that I'm going to have to play in, not run. But I am excited to play in.
The idea of even just looking at the 2 maps they include, that you push together to make one big map.
Yeah, to make one big map.
There's so many spots, so many hexes, and knowing that your journey to Horizon is going to be quite long.
Yes, quite long. Yeah,
many perils.
But that's the thing, though. Like, you can think about it. Like, imagine like looking at that map at the end of your journey.
Yes,
right.
Have a real like. This is where Frodo and Sam traveled.
Yeah.
This is where Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli traveled. Like that.
Like having that to look at and be all like, this is what we've accomplished. This is what we've done. Is super cool. Yeah,
I love it so much. Also, 1 hex is 24 miles.
Yeah,
good to know.
That's so much.
Yeah, guys, that's the campaign frames. We're gonna have to do episodes on these at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be super soon, or if it's gonna be later, or what. Unlike the adversary environment thing where we were all like, let us know if you want more. We're going to do these.
Yeah, we're gonna do
these for us
on the campaign frames. Yeah, because we want to. Because we love campaign frames in general, and the way that they really ramped up campaign frames for this book is very exciting. So
absolutely
want to talk about them.
But speaking of exciting things we want to talk about, let's get to the Dread Domain. This is incredibly important because,
not my cards.
Sorry, I thought about knocking them out of your hand, but then they were going to get out of organized, so it would have been
horrible. We had to stop the video. You just read while I organize my cards.
Yeah, but it's really big deal. Like since Daggerheart Core released, we had the Kickstarter where they individually packaged the different character classes and stuff. And it would come, like, oh cool, how are they going to handle domain expansions? That sounds like a JJK reference, which I guess it could be going forward. And well, maybe this isn't how they're going to do all of them. I still think the individual packaging, is probably how we'll see classes and things going forward.
Yep.
But this is a really cool way to do it, especially considering there are multiple classes introduced that all use this domain in conjunction with other core domains. And Hope and Fear being the actual expansion to core. It tracks. It works. It's great. And man, we always talk about the art and how they don't miss.
They don't
that
miss.
Continues.
They killed it with the artwork on this.
Yep.
There's some really good stuff.
I'm going to try not to mention the art too many times as we go through these, but just keep in mind. I mean, maybe we'll mention some specifics when it's here, big deal and really fits the mood. Yeah. That's
good art.
This art's real good. This art's real good. But starting off at tier. Dang it, I always say tier. There's 4 tiers, and then I mess up. Level 1. We have the spell Blightning Strike. With a recall cost of 1, you make a spell cast roll against a target within far range. On a success, you get to choose this stuff. On a roll with Hope, deal D6 plus 1 magic damage using your proficiency. On a roll with Fear, deal D10 plus 1 magic damage using your proficiency. The target's next successful attack deals half damage. On a failure, you must spend a hope or mark a stress. So, potential negative.
I like the
running
name,
this spell. Blightning Strike. It's wonderful.
I love the name of it.
Absolutely. Next at level 1, we have the spell Umbral Veil. Recall cost of 1. Once per rest, you can mark a stress to encase yourself in shadowy energy. When you do, place a number of tokens on this card equal to the number of fear in the GM's pool. I always love things that interact with the GM's fear.
Absolutely.
After an attack roll is made against you, you can spend any number of tokens to give the result a -1 penalty per token spent. At the end of the scene, clear all unspent tokens. You are literally creating a shell of armor made of your GM's fear.
I love this spell. That is so cool.
I'd be hard pressed not to take this.
Yeah,
every time.
Absolutely. No, that's a given.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, for the level 1s, we have the spell Voice of Dread with a recall cost of 0. You can magically speak to a creature you see, tormenting them with your words. Yeah, I do that all the time without magically doing it.
I was going to say.
That's just normal speaking. Make a spellcast roll against them. On a success, they must mark a stress and are frozen with terror, making them temporarily restrained. Mechanically, this is cool. I'm glad it's here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick
it. It depends. Yeah. I can see myself using this, but it really just depends on what my other domains are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's like, the Umbral Veil. That one's a given.
A given.
That one's a
given.
And
between that, like, look, Lightning Strike?
And Lightning Strike, yeah.
It's hard to follow those two up.
I don't know. I could see myself using this, but it's not going to be my first pick.
It's going to have to be the build I'm going for.
Yeah.
You want to take 2?
All right, moving on to level 2. We have a spell, Hideous Retribution, with a recall of 2. When an ally within close range takes damage from a target you can see, you can make a reaction roll against the target using your spellcast trait. On a success, mark a stress and deal d6 magic damage using your proficiency. I love it. I always love the basically like ricochet style type spells, like things that you do in a reaction.
Yeah, and d6 for per proficiency. Sick.
Yeah, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Our next is a spell, Siphon Essence, with a recall of 1. Make a spellcast roll against a target within very close range. Once per long rest. On a success, the target takes d12 plus 4 magic damage using your proficiency. On a success with fear, you gain a +1 bonus to your proficiency for this attack. You clear a number of hit points equal to the number of hit points the target marked from this attack. Insanely good for a level 2.
I think both of these.
Yes.
I think both of these are fan-friggin-tastic, especially for level 2s.
Yeah, especially for level 2s. But man, that Siphon, being able to, drain those hit points, oof, that's good.
Drain those hit points. And I mean, honestly, like, I don't want to miss too much on, like, not give enough credit to Hideous Retribution. It's not like a once per day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a once per day. As long as you're within close range and they take damage from target you can see, you make a reaction roll to attack them back.
To attack them back.
And it's a reaction roll, so you're not gaining hope, you're not giving them fear.
Yeah, you're not giving currency out. Yeah.
This is, and it's going to grow with your proficiency. So your GM attacking an ally of yours will always come with the inherent risk of being attacked
back. Yeah.
I love it. And yeah, Siphon Essence, level 2. Gaining hit points. Like, ooh, man.
Yeah, there's strong picks for level 2.
Moving on to level 3, we have the spell Shared Trauma with a recall cost of 1. You can transfer suffering from one creature to another. Once per rest, mark any number of hit points on a willing creature within melee range to clear an equal number of hit point points on another willing creature within melee range. You share trauma, and it allows you to physically share trauma.
I like it.
Absolutely. And next we have the spell Terrify, the recall cost of 1. Make a spellcast roll against the target within close range. On a success, the target marks 1d4 stress, and you can make the target flee one range away from you, such as very close to close or close to far. On a success with fear, the target also becomes temporarily vulnerable. Gotta love the bonus.
This
rolling with fear
spell is terrifying. Literally. Like that stress mark, that movement, everything about it. Like, man, that's powerful.
You load your GM with stress, you start doing damage.
Oh yeah.
You start taking away abilities.
Taking away abilities. I cannot stress that enough. Pun intended. Is brutal.
Yep. I like the idea that you roll it with fear, so the turn goes, the spotlight goes to your GM. But their adversary is now vulnerable.
Yeah, now vulnerable.
Do they want to use their spotlighting to remove the vulnerability? Do they want to actually make a move? I don't know. There's a lot of story implications you can do with that.
Yep. Moving on to level 4, we have a spell, Chains of Affliction, recall of 2. Mark 2 stress to temporarily chain a target within close range. When a chained creature deals damage, the target of their attack marks 1 fewer hit points than they normally would. You can't have more than 1 creature chained at a time. I like this ability. I love this artwork.
Oh yeah, the art's fantastic.
The magical
dude.
chains around, like the being, down on their knees inside of a runic circle.
Yeah.
With like the smoke tendrils coming off of them. I absolutely love the art on this. Not a bad spell either. It's good, solid all around.
No, like genuinely rad. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
just like
it's just
nerfing
good.
them essentially, like making it to where anyone they hit is gonna take one less hit point. If they do one,
if they do one, then you're fine.
Like there's nothing wrong about this.
Nope.
There's never a bad time to use that. The only thing is really, marking 2 stress is a lot. Like
it's
it hurt.
Lot.
It can build up unless you got ways to remove
it just
stress.
depends on where you're at though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that's temporary, they it's the spotlight away from moving, etc. But it's very good.
Yeah. Next, we have another spell, Summon Horror, recall of 2. Mark a stress to summon an otherworldly creature that deals D8 plus 1 magic damage using your spellcast trait to a target within far range. If the target marks any hit points from this attack, they must succeed on a reaction roll 12 to steel themselves against the horror or mark an equal number of stress. After making the attack, the creature dissipates. I think the strong point of this is that far range.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like it. Not too overpowered. Very good, though.
D8 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that that's going to scale with proficiency is decent, right? And otherwise, I'm like, okay, it's not a ton of damage. But it could be. And the fact that it's stress equal to damage.
The stress equal to damage.
Load them up. And it's fun thematically.
Yes. No, thematically, it's great.
What kind of horror are you going to summon? I don't know.
It just depends.
Depends on your mood.
Depends on your mood.
Moving on to level 5, we have the spell Dire Strike with a recall cost of 2. When a target marks any number of hit points from an attack you make, you can spend a hope to drain power from them. The GM loses a fear.
Ah.
Fun.
Simple, fun.
Simple, fun, and great art. Next, we have the spell Spectral Mist with a recall cost of 0. My favorite cost for recalling. Spend 2 hope to conjure an eerie mist that turns you and allies, important, of your choice, also important, within close range, momentarily incorporeal. While a creature is incorporeal, they can move through solid objects and are immune to physical damage. They become corporeal again after they pass through a solid object or make an action roll. Otherwise, this effect lasts until the end of the scene.
Fun. So useful, too.
This is one I'd have to take.
I 100% am taking this card.
It's going to come in handy all the time. Your GM's going to be like, I forgot you could do that.
Yep. Goes right into the kit. Moving on to level 6, we have Spell Darkfire, recall of 2. Spend any number of hope to target an equal number of adversaries within close range. Each target makes a reaction roll 15. Targets who fail take D8 plus 6 magic damage using your spellcast trait as they are engulfed in dark fire. Targets who succeed take half damage. Solid ability. Not an instant take for me, but still very good.
I would have to look at my options.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
pretty good.
It's pretty good,
depending on how many hope you want to burn.
Yeah,
pun intended. The fact that you're gonna have all of them. That's a decent reaction roll to try to hit 15, right? That's pretty decent. They're rolling on a d20, not 2d12. We got to keep that in mind.
Yeah,
your GM die is technically smaller. D8, which that's gonna scale proficiency, plus 6 magic damage using your spellcast trait. And if they succeed, it's still half damage. You're gonna hurt people.
It's gonna hurt. It's not bad. Like I said, it's not bad. It's not an instant take for me, but it's still pretty good.
Having to spend hope kind of sucks. But it could be really good, especially depending on the enemies.
This next one, though, is an instant take for me. So this is Spell Jump Scare, recall of 1. When you deal magic damage to a target, you can mark a stress to teleport into melee range with them. When you do, they are vulnerable until they mark 1 or more hit points. Super simple, super awesome.
Yeah.
I love this spell.
Ultimate 1-2 combo.
Yes, absolutely love it. Just like, it's cool because it's like when you deal magic damage, you can just use this.
Yep.
So it's not like you're using this to use the jump scare ability, like to teleport across. It's when you deal that magic damage, then you use this and you're jumping across.
Right.
Very cool. Love the artwork. One of my favorite spells in the domain.
Basically, as long as you do magic damage, which all these have been spells so far, let alone depending on your weapons or whatever.
Well, yeah, but then
you're marking a stress to make them vulnerable.
There are so many like really cool, like magical weapons that we went over.
Oh yeah.
2 episodes
Absolutely.
ago that like really build a kit for this. Like I said, one of my favorite cards, I think, in the Dread domain.
Mm-hmm. Level 7, we got an ability. Is this our first ability so far? Everything's been spells, right?
Yeah.
First ability, Dread Touched. Not going to say it's cool art, but it's got cool art.
It's cool art.
Recall cost of 2. When 4 or more of the domain cards in your loadout are from the Dread domain, gain the following benefits. When you succeed with fear, you can mark 2 stress to prevent the GM from gaining a fear. Once per rest, when marking an action roll, you can gain a bonus to the roll equal to the number of fear in the GM's pool.
Fun stuff.
So flippin' good. Especially because if you're ever in a game with Richard, he tends to have a lot of fear because he saves it up to beat you up at the end of the session.
I like having all that fear up there.
Yeah, it's scary.
For everybody to see. It's spooky.
He knows it puts us all on edge.
I love it.
And over here, lastly for the 7s, we have the spell Wall of Hunger. Recall cost of 2. Make a spellcast roll, 10. On a success, you can spend a hope to create a visible wall of writhing necrotic energy between 2 points within far range. The wall lasts until you mark a hit point or cast the spell again. A creature inside the wall, when it appears, or that passes through it, must mark 2 stress.
Brutal.
Gross.
Brutal. Moving on to 8. Artwork. One of my favorite artworks in the Dread domain.
Yeah.
And it got a full page too.
It does.
In the book, which
it
is amazing.
Does.
We have a spell, Dark Army. Recall of 2. Make a spellcast roll 14 once per long rest. On a success, you can summon fiends that surround and move with you. Place 8 tokens on this card. When you deal damage to a target within very close range, you can spend any number of tokens to add 1d8 for each token spent to your damage roll. Additionally, when you take damage, you can spend any number of tokens to reduce the damage by 1d8 for each token spent. Each time you spend a token, a fiend acts on your behalf, then disappears. When you take a rest, clear all unspent tokens. I love the dual nature of this.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to have these fiends attack for you, but then also the idea that they can defend for you too. So just having this like dark army following you around that you can have do things, very solo leveling.
And to think,
love it.
You can accomplish all this with a spell instead of an entire class.
Yes.
Looking at you, summoner.
Dun, dun, dun.
Might need a rework.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yes.
Next, we have Eldritch Flesh,
Is that
spell.
Vax?
What?
Is that Vax?
Is it?
Probably not.
I mean, it could be.
It's not. But it reminds me of Vax.
It could be.
Makes me miss Vax.
Recall of 1. Gain +1 bonus to your damage thresholds for each stress you have marked. Additionally, when you roll with fear, you can spend 2 hope to clear an armor slot.
I'd take it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's just another, there's no time it would ever be bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't add into your theme though.
Maybe.
Which would be fair. Level 9. Oh, I just realized you're going to get the cool level 10s. You organized this on purpose. You devilish.
I know you just started reading in the beginning.
Nah, just you did this on purpose. Level 9. We have the spell Damnation with a recall cost of 2. Make a spellcast roll against a target within far range. On a success, mark any number of stress to roll an equal number of d20s, the GM die, dealing magic damage equal to the total result. If this attack defeats the target, all adversaries within far range of the target must mark a stress.
This spell.
Brutal.
Wow, this is an instant take.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So good.
I get to read Richard's favorite card now. Spell. Savor the Anguish. Recall cost of 1. When an adversary within close range takes severe damage, you can clear a stress. It's not his favorite for the ability.
That's got really good art.
It's got good art.
Actually, both level 9s have fantastic art. Damnation and Savor the Anguish. These are both like phone wallpaper worthy.
Yeah. That's how really honestly that's how we judge.
Finally, we have our 2 level 10s. First one we have is a spell with a recall of 2, Avatar of Terror. Mark a stress to transform into a creature fueled by fear. While in this form, you gain 1d6 bonus to your damage rolls for each fear in the GM's pool. Additionally, you gain a hope when the GM spends a fear to spotlight an adversary within very close range. Before you make an action roll, you must spend a hope. If you can't, revert to human form. Or normal form, not human form.
It's sick.
I'm a human. But yeah, very sick. Avatar of Terror. That's just cool.
Is it level 10? Yes. Is it worthy
absolutely.
of being level 10? Yes.
Does that artwork look like a Guyver? Yes, it does. If you know what a Guyver is, you're welcome. But yeah, it looks like a Guyver.
I just know Mick.
Yeah. No, wrong Guyver.
Speaking of artwork that has been our backgrounds, this has been my phone background.
Really? This
100%.
is a good one. Yeah.
Just take a little vertical slice right here.
It's a good vertical slice. Our final spell with a recall of 2 is Invoke Torment. You deal double damage to targets that have all their stress marked. Additionally, when an adversary within close range is defeated with all of its stress marked, you gain a hope. Solid. Is it as good as Avatar? No.
Depends.
I still like it.
Double damage.
Double damage is really, really good.
Especially like if you're setting up your character to stack stress on your GM.
That's what I was gonna say. If you build this deck out and you build your character out to stack stress,
yep,
obviously this is a choice.
Oh man,
yeah,
you're just stacking debuffs until you're just explode them.
Now this is it's a good solid domain with some of my favorite cards. Like some of these abilities are just super duper great. Jump Scare and Dark Army are probably my 2 favorites throughout this entire thing. Just with their overall flavor and how they I can imagine using them in game.
Mm-hmm. I think my 2 favorites are Hideous Retribution and Umbral Veil. And they're right off the jump.
Right off the jump, too. Yep. Yeah, and they're really solid. Mm-hmm. Both of those are incredible abilities that are kind of how can you not take them?
They're going to help you throughout the entire campaign.
Yeah, no, how can you not use those?
Umbral Veil's just so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Turn your GM's fear around against them. Not to mention, it's once per rest, which if, once you start building up your deck and you get your recalling, you can just start with that or pull it in later because it's only, it's a 1 recall cost, but it's 1 you could have in your deck knowing you're going to cycle it out.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, guys, we did it.
We did it.
Gently gone over all the chapters of this book with you guys, which means next week we got some thinking to do. We got some talking. We got some arithmetic to be had at this table, and figure out how we feel about this book overall.
Yeah, as a whole, what do we feel about it?
Yep. So, catch us next week if you want to hear our final thoughts and review of Daggerheart, Hope and Fear, the first expansion set for Daggerheart's core set.
Yeah, and I've been reading the copy that I have here in front of me that is open because I like physical media. Mm-hmm. Tyler's over there using a tablet like a weirdo.
Well,
he's got this nice collector's edition right
collector's edition is the backdrop.
That he doesn't even want to touch. He's just ruined it.
No, did you see that?
Yeah, he's ripping the cover.
That must have happened when it was in my backpack.
Right now.
This was like this.
Signed GM
as far as I know, you did this.
But at my house, I have a whole another copy of Hope and Fear. In a box.
Yep.
Shrink wrapped, ready to send out to one of you.
Yep. So tune in next week if you want to find out how that could be you.
Yeah. Because I don't need 2 copies of Hope and Fear.
I do.
But somebody needs a copy of Hope and Fear.
Yeah. So yeah, turn next week if you want to find out. If you already got it, fantastic.
Yeah.
If you need it and want it, we'll show you how you might be able to get it. Either way, y'all, tune in next week if you want to care about our thoughts or anything, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for sticking with us. If you want to dress like us, you can go to truestrikepod.com and buy some fancy, nerdy merch.
Took me way too long. was like, what? Who doesn't dress like me? I'm frumpy.
Frumpy. You're delicious, and people love the way you look and taste.
Talk about the lanterns.
If you want to keep those lanterns lit on nice and juicy, your positive affirmations help do
It's going downhill real fast.
Viscerally descriptive, Richard. It's the 2 words people associate with me, Tyler. Candles, smell them. Cantrip candles. Link in the below. YouTube, like, subscribe. Podcast places, 5-star. Catch us out. Catch us out. Catch us outside.
I was about to say. Catch us outside the studio.
But I'll let you know next week if I actually enjoyed this book or if all of my positive praises so far have been a ruse.
You took it out on its collector's edition already.
I genuinely want to know when you did this. I knew you were upset that I had.
It's when he got angry and he
collectors
slammed his book. He threw it across the room and it. Yeah.
I'm just the way
he treats his personal possessions.
We drove this so far across the country to have it signed by all these lovely creators of this book. And then you took a freaking, what do you call those things? A Mr. Man sponge? Mr. Sponge Man. The yellow face guy.
He's delirious.
You know what I'm talking about. You clean your cucumbers with it.
He's delirious.
Yeah, did all the people on the internet clean their cucumbers with the sponge with the face.
I've never cleaned a cucumber.
Eat some raw and dirty. How do you wash your cucumbers? Let us know in the comments down below. But until next time, folks, I've been Tyler.
I've been Richard.
And we've been
True Strike. See you.
Gucci Makuchi. Hey, adventurers. Thanks again for joining us today. Please be sure to give us a follow on your favorite podcasting platforms and YouTube. If there's any questions you'd like to write to the show, you can hit us up on Threads, Blue Sky, or Instagram. New episodes released every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for listening to True Strike.
I don't think you can say coochie on a family show.
It's Scrub Daddy. Scrub Daddy was what I was looking for.